Give me some drummer.
My name is Randy Ortiz. We're here in New York City, and I am a business analyst by day and a music producer and songwriter by night. So I started producing music back in like 2011, 2010. I was kind of just like working off GarageBand on my laptop. It was kind of like the standard like program that would come with like your MacBook. And at the time, I just felt like really just like this urging to like just get up and just make music. I had no clue like how to do it, no like schooling or background in terms of like making music. And for whatever reason, like I got up off my bed. It was like 8 in the morning. Got up off my bed and I just made like probably the worst bass line I've ever heard in my life, but something stuck with me then, and ever since then I was just dying to make good music, and it just took years to get to that point. So I think one of the biggest lessons I learned early on and like even later down the road was that I needed to make things happen for myself. Like I couldn't just wait around to like kind of be discovered or like fall into the right hands and like kind of get a mentor or learn from other people. And I'm not knocking those things. Those things are great, but they don't always happen right away. The timing is not always right, or you may not be in the right area to kind of get a glimpse of those resources and those abilities. You have those things and those tools within yourself, especially in the kind of age we live in now where technology is so prevalent. So, yeah. When I first started, my support system was probably thin to non-existent. Unless you consider like your family like your support system. Obviously, like I come from a good family, it's tight-knit. And they were very supportive. But as far as like support within the industry, I didn't really have anybody that I can, like turn to or ask questions or anything like that. It was kind of like just me putting myself out there and just trying to figure things out. And to an extent, I'm still doing those things, but my support system has grown. I think since I've started, my relationship has grown immensely, and it's kind of been like this long journey, but it's something I'm really grateful for. Everything just didn't happen overnight. And it's still not happening overnight. It's something that, I go through so many trials and so many like mountains and peaks that I have to like climb and go over. And through each one, looking back, I realized like how he was always really there and just kind of guiding me through. So I'm really thankful for that. I'm thankful for the fact that I have like the support system of my family to kind of keep me grounded and keep me rooted in His Word. And that's the biggest thing that I can like just take with me, especially being in an industry that's just so against everything that I try and put out there and others. I think the biggest hurdle for me has been to allow myself free of like any fears and insecurities, any anxiety, and just let those things go and just allow myself to be a conduit of artwork, of the gift that God has really given me, so that way I can like use that to give Him glory and His honor. The things that He's already placed in my heart. Some of the biggest sacrifices is what I do with my time. The biggest sacrifice, I think, in my opinion, is not hanging out with family members or going to certain functions when I know I should really be studying or like investing in myself, investing in my craft, working on music, when I'm just dead exhausted and the easiest thing to do is just to go out and relax, party, or just get some food. And me telling myself, oh, it'll just be quick. Like, there's always a million excuses to do whatever else other people are inviting you to. It's so important to like stay committed to what it is that you feel called to do and inspired to do. So yeah, just not being so tempted to just go out and avoid what you feel called to do is probably the biggest hurdle and biggest thing that I've had to sacrifice. I think the biggest things that inspire me are people who've already gone down like a similar path as myself, and who also, are creatives like myself, and who are inspired by the things that I like. I'm inspired by God's design in the world that you see. I feel like he's already created and done so much, and he's left such a footprint for our own lives to be inspired and to use whatever platforms we decide to put that at the forefront. So I'm always inspired by others around me, whether it be music producers, actual artists, painters, designers, stylists, whatever the case may be. That's what inspires me. I think what's next, I mean, it's kind of hard to say because it's, I could say one thing and be doing something completely different, next week. But I think what's next is just to continue to collaborate with other creators, music producers, songwriters, people within the industry that I'm inspired by and that I want to work with, and figure out how I can continue to pave my own lane to get where it is that I feel called to be. I think the biggest thing, or the biggest piece of advice I would give to someone is to really understand who that you are as a person, because everything that you are as a person reflects the work that you do and will do. And until you really understand who you are as a person, what your values are, what you believe in, and how you can put that at the forefront, like it makes it harder to do that work if you don't understand what your identity is and what where that stems from. So if you can understand that at the forefront, then it makes it easier to produce the work that you want to produce, and then it makes it easier to just have longevity in the industry. And I'm still starting, so I feel like it's a constant thing. It's not something that just happens overnight. It's something that you have to maintain.
How important is approval?
When it comes to the approval of like what I'm doing in my own work, I think it's weird. It's one of those things where yes, it's nice to have the approval of others, but at the end of the day, like, does it really matter in terms of like what it is that you're doing, even if it's something that's brand new? There's always going to be like backlash or someone who doesn't necessarily understand your vision or understand your thought process, and that's okay. So I don't think the approval of others in terms of what it is that you want to do is crucial.
Thank you so much.